I heard you said the N-word in a stream with Mudflap recently.
That's not true. I said Inland Iggy's nickname.
Damn,
He
dude.
said Inland Iggy with the hard R at the end of it.
Inland Iggy with an R.
Damn, dude.
So you said, okay.
He said Inland Ig.
Damn, dude. That's not cool.
And that's what he...
England nigga.
Well,
I
Mudflap
don't
shouldn't
condone-
be filming behind the scenes and snitching on people with his YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? King
he
Croc,
caught me off guard.
we're going to go to King Croc for
King
forgiveness
Croc?
right here. You have the right to dole out or withhold forgiveness.
Is there a punishment or is there no punishment for Dino?
I'm gonna say you're pushing the line. You dropped the hard ER in the chat the other day, the group chat.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little sus, bro.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, that was in reference to that.
Yeah, Dino,
I
mean,
remember that.
I've already gotten in trouble for some suspect uses of the N-word. I don't feel like you have a developed enough worldview or comedic sensibility yet to be letting those fly. I say maybe let's put the muzzle on the old N-word cannon, huh?
You're not going to like his answer.
No.
You piece of shit.
Damn.
Dino, no, he won't be saying it anymore.
But seriously, when you were just out of context using gnarly ass slurs in videos and in places, you can see how that can make us look bad, right?
I didn't know I was being recorded.
Wait. Oh, this is
This
real?
is off camera.
Yeah, I wasn't-
recording it in the background.
It was background noise. I was talking to Inland Iggy and fucking someone else. I don't even remember. I was drunk as fuck.
Well, again, I'm not an absolutist about this thing. I think there are contexts for saying anything, really offensive stuff. I don't believe in banning all words. But also be careful of just trying to be edgy and just trying to shoehorn N-bombs into things because you're young right now. You don't have all the information about what makes things funny or not. And it could come off like we are just a farm team for the KKK.
Well, I think it's time we go back to Negro Bar, though, and then film a sequel with Dino this time. Let him drop some hard R's.
Maybe. See, that's context right there.
we
as
all-
long as you do it in Negro Bar.
We all still want to try to make money.
Exactly. We'd like to,
We all want to still make money, and you've obviously ruined your chances of ever making money. So
No, it's that attitude that'll ruin your chances of making money. That pussification, bro. You got to be willing to say whatever you want. Don't let the gay liberal media fucking tell you what you can and can't say and whether or not you're not going to make any money.
but
That's fucking bullshit,
N-bombs.
It shouldn't be
come
lame.
talk to me when you're 38.
When I'm 38,
You'll
I'll be richer than you, motherfucker, because I'll say what I want.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
When you're 38,
Keep
you
clicking behind that computer.
Hey, I mean, I got a real job.
Nice. All right.
I'm just kidding. This is not a real job, and that's what people say about stand-up. It wasn't a very good
This
joke.
guy's confidence is through the roof since the last time I met him.
Yeah, what's going on, Austin? I think it's that alpha brain.
I think Lenochi's got a shitty attitude.
What do you mean?
Tell him why.
Yeah, what do
We
you
can
mean by that?
retire
What do
the
you mean by
N-bomb.
that?
We can retire the N-bomb.
So that-
That's okay.
Well, I don't know.
I think.
You came in here. Oh, it's 8 a.m. You're just quit bitching, bro.
Yeah, that's funny. It's funny to complain.
You know what? I think everybody in the chat is probably, or in the comments, is probably thinking that I'm being probably the most funny right now.
You've been a little disruptive this podcast.
If everybody,
Austin. I'm gonna be honest.
in the comments is thinking that you're being the most funny right now, then that's fine. Then I'll just Then I don't want those as fans because they don't really understand humor.
He's saying you're not funny right now, Austin.
Okay, well, I don't. He said, "Oh, you're not gonna make any money. You just throwing your whole future life away."
Why'd you take
He
it
also
personal?
was joking.
Why'd
He
you
was
take it personally?
joking.
Hold on, what happened? Why did
Yeah.
you take this personally? Like, where did this all come from?
Well, I don't know. Maybe if you said it in a way that seemed funny.
But maybe if you were less defensive, it would have been funny.
I don't know. You're the one that's being really defensive about him saying Inland Iggy's name with an ER at the end of it.
I don't think he was the one who took issue with that. That was more me.
Yeah, no, hold on. But I was just jumping on what they were saying. We were just like saying, yeah, he was like, I'd rather you not do that. I was like, yeah, we want to make money. Just adding to the subject matter.
Okay, I
yeah.
get your point. But you pointed at us and you're like, you're throwing your whole life away. That kind of attitude I hate.
Yeah.
That's everything that I stand against.
You
is this
didn't.
whole-
Lenochi was making
No, hold
a
on.
light
This
joke.
is fun. Let's do this.
Would
Hold
you
on.
say Austin?
Well, finally we're
Archangel-
talking about something interesting. This
Yeah,
is getting
Damn,
live.
dude.
Would
The
you say-
producers trying to,
Austin?
dude. This producer's coming in.
Austin,
you say
something's
you're-
Well,
going
dude,
on.
he's
Something's
this
going
whole
on.
Podcast. Lenochi's been sitting there like, oh, your producer sure has a lot of confidence. Your producer is really
you know.
Yeah, but because we're
acting
giving you
like
shit.
he's part of the show. All of a sudden, you're like, what? You want me to just sit
We're
here and say fucking
we're
nothing
just
the whole
giving you
time?
shit. Are you really annoyed that do they give you shit every week or something?
I mean,
No, I'm
yeah.
giving you shit. Are you annoyed right now?
No, I'm having
Are you
fun. I'm
pressed,
playing
bro?
into it. Are you okay though?
Something's going on
Yeah,
because
I'm
he snapped at me before the pod because I said that nobody knew how to take a photograph with an iPhone on a shoot, and somehow he took that personally as me saying that he
Arguably,
wasn't a
I
good
think
photographer.
part of it is this alpha brain does have me low key like super wired.
You're
Say
wired.
this alpha
Dude,
brain's
what's
gone.
going on?
You don't
dude?
get the fucking
This is
the alpha brain.
I don't know that this is going to be.
Blame it on the,
This is not the kind of energy that we want on a podcast.
No,
though, dude.
but
we
it's
can't have
also
you.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to
Sure.
say never antagonize the guests, Austin, but also when we have the guests on, you can keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
You
say
can
keep
doing
going.
what
I
you're
say
doing.
it's content.
Yeah.
I'm not actually that peeved, but I do really hate
Peeved.
that attitude of, oh, you have to just fit this very specific box, otherwise your whole life you're not going to make any money. I'm going to hold this big thing of fear over your head and make everybody around me think that everybody has to fit this one little
Well,
retard
let's
box,
also
otherwise-
not-
To be fair, I do agree with him
be
with the money thing. It's just like I just
guys,
don't really care that much.
guys, that's fine. You don't have to care. But all we did was give you a little advice of not saying the N word.
Right, that was it, dude. It was
didn't
about
even
the
say the
N bomb.
N-word.
But that's what this was about.
And I didn't even say don't say it. I said I don't think yet you guys have the ability to use the N-word comedically where it's artistic. I don't think I really have
I'd like
the
to
ability.
say, I'd like to say, don't say it. I'd like to say,
give you
don't
an
say
example
it.
of who's used it artistically successful. George Carlin, Louis C.K., two of the greatest comedians of all
Ever.
time. So, like, they got to that point. All we said was, hey, maybe you don't... He was bringing up the point of, like, you don't know what that could do to you in 15 years if someone could bring that back and it could ruin your future for something that's like a minimal, was it even funny enough to do? And all it is a little piece of advice. You don't have to take it. You can take everything with a grain of salt.
Well,
but
he didn't even say it in a comedic way. It was overheard in the background of a conversation where he was talking to Inland Iggy, and then it was posted to YouTube video.
okay, that's besides the point. The point is, Danny, your boss, was basically like, hey, you guys should be a little bit more conscious about when you're doing stuff like that because it could affect all of us as a group. And then I chime in and go, yeah, you might not be able to make money one day doing what we all are doing, this as fun entertainment. It's all great, but yeah, we do like making money too. So what I said was truth a little bit, but I'm not saying stay in a box. You took it that way, but that's fine. But also, if you want to be like, fuck that, I want to say everything, part of being a good comic or whatever you're doing is being conscious with society and knowing what works and what's not and reading a room. Like, if you do stand-up, how do you read a room? You got to know what works. I can't. That's like me saying, oh, that joke didn't work. Well, I'm not going to be held in a box. I'm just going to keep doing a joke that doesn't work. Fuck that. I say what I want. This joke doesn't work. You're a fucking idiot. I'm going to fucking keep doing. No, I don't keep doing a bad joke.
I just
have
feel
to be
like
aware and
you
learn.
You're
don't
in the
have the
industry, you know.
you don't have the confidence to throw some digs at Leo and Danny, so you keep just throwing digs towards me and Dino, so it kind of triggers.
If you
What
want to go
is wrong
hold
with
on.
you?
First of all, if you want to go rewatch that episode, first of all, I dig on this guy all the time. I digged on Danny earlier too. That's fine if you see it that way, but this is something else. This isn't about this episode.
Yeah,
this
something's
is some
going
shit.
on.
Like, if you have some shit to say to me, say it. Like, let's figure it out.
Yeah, what's
I don't have
going
a
on?
problem with you. I just remember that we would give you a hard time last time, and I thought you were into that. And you were playing, but like, if it's bothering you, if it's like annoying you, then be like, oh
It's
man,
fine. I'm not. It's okay. Yeah, it's
no,
cool.
but
I
now
forgive
You're
I'm-
standing down, Austin?
No, I mean, I'm accepting the fact that I got too heated, and I'm way too like fucking wired up right now. My heart rate is.
Why are
like,
you so wired up?
but like
I took 4 pills of Alpha Brain Black Label this morning. I'm zooted.
Yeah,
that's a good commercial for Alpha.
I don't think
It
there's.
just
Is there any
makes
science
sense.
behind Alpha Brain?
I have no idea. But yeah, Austin,
But
maybe
no,
take it
they
easy
were-
on the alpha brain. I have noticed you've been steamrolling a little bit today.
No, exactly.
A little
That's my point.
steamrolling
I don't
over
normally
there.
act like this, and I'm not saying it's because of the Alpha Brain, but normally I wouldn't act like this.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I just want to make
This
sure.
is probably
you're-
why I sleep in, because dude, 8:30s just aren't fun, I guess.
I don't know. Nico, how you doing over there?
Great, mate. Observing. It's great. I like Austin. He's funny.
Thank
I'm
you.
a fan.
You guys probably are
I'm
in
with
like
the whole-
a
I'm-
Daily Stormer forum communicating with each other. You probably feel like you know each other because behind screen names you do.
Yeah, I'm with the whole like you shouldn't be pussification and all that shit and not saying what you want, but I get like both sides as well.
Well, I mean,
It's a
you have Danny
misunderstanding.
saying the actual N-word is comedy in like some videos and stuff, and then he's like lecturing Derek about saying Inland Iggy's name with an ER at the end in the background of a conversation that wasn't even supposed to be in a video.
To be fair, I mean, King Croc also mentioned that he said it in a group chat also, Dino. So that was just a
Because
blatant.
Mudflap is the one who posted it, and then he said, "Shut up, Dino, you're canceled." So then I double canceled myself because double negative cancels itself out.
I'm saying this recently. Okay, I've said the N-word in a couple videos, not in a hateful context, in a playful comedic context. But Dino, as recently as last week, we had to cut out segments of him on the podcast for saying faggot in borderline aggressive, hateful ways.
Yeah, but then at the same time, you have videos where you tell a lifeguard to kill himself. Like, where do you draw the line between those two things? Is it just because the gay liberal media says you can't say the word faggot, and then all of a sudden we're not allowed to? But you can tell a lifeguard to kill himself on stand because you're not using the word faggot?
If
like, where does that actual line stand?
If one has a much higher % chance of getting our video taken down, that does matter to me. And maybe it is hypocritical, maybe it is sort of lame, but Dino is a pissed off, disillusioned, stoner 19-year-old who takes out his anger at society and at, as you say, the gay liberal media by just using slurs sometimes. Again, dude, I am not a PC pussy. I'm just saying, Dino, be careful. When you're commenting on, I don't know, Barack Obama's Instagram photo, hey, you're a beep, 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 beep. That could come back to us, and I'm just saying, be careful.
Also, just because you change where you're lying at doesn't mean you're going against your own personal views. You have to evolve sometimes because you go with the temperature. You can go that way and be like, nah, here's my line, and I'm never going to cross it.
Yeah.
That's fine, but it might not evolve the way you see things going. Like everything evolves.
I think things are evolving for the worse, though. Like, Leo, who was that comedian that I showed you? Johnny Mitchell had this one guy. He's like a legendary comedian or whatever. And he came on, and his set was absolutely fucking hilarious. But it was just like too offensive that everybody in the whole crowd was just groaning, and these girls were talking in the background.
He said it was Sam Tripoli.
And that guy murdered. And it's like if every comedian moves away from what that guy was doing and starts just doing the very like low, basic, whatever's going to get you laughs in an LA club, I feel like it's just not like a good... I don't think that's a good evolution. I think that's a de-evolution into like
people
shittier
suck.
comedy.
There are people like Patton Oswalt who are apologizing for photos they have with Dave Chappelle. They suck. Well, I think Patton Oswalt is really funny, but I think what he's doing politically sucks. Whitney Cummings, Amy Schumer, they've just become shills for the state. They suck. We're not disagreeing with that. Then again, some of my favorite comedians from the early 2000s, their act would just bomb today in a nightclub. And what Lenochi's talking about is just subtle tweaks. You can still be edgy and you can still push buttons, but just coming out and dropping an N-bomb is probably not going to work in an LA club. You can still have a Patreon page. You can still have a subversive podcast and do that. And you can still say really offensive stuff from time to time.
I still wouldn't just drop N-bombs. I'm not even
But also,
advocating for
like,
that.
the greats,
Right.
like Chappelle and Louis and Bill, they do find ways to still hold their ground and say things that they think they should be able to say. And they find a clever way to do it to make everyone agree with it and go, oh, people are always going to get mad about what you say. But if you're saying something and the whole room is not on board with it, then you're not doing your job as a comedian. Part of your job is to not just lecture.
Yeah.
No,
like
that's
part of your
true
job
too,
is to
but
make
don't you think
your job is
comedians
to
are
be
also
funny.
explicit in that degradation of comedy by going along with the pussy.
Listen, me and Lenoshi, we're in comedy clubs every multiple times a week. They're pretty edgy. I mean, people are doing edgy shit.
for sure.
You can do it, but there's also like the wit, like being a good comedian is being clever enough to figure out the idea. Like if you're on stage, the best comedians are true to themselves because they're authentic about what they feel or how they believe. And you're like, yo, this is like, I'm not just doing this joke. Like Sam's not, if Sam doesn't connect with the crowd, like what he's saying, if you don't know Sam believes everything he says. He's not just one of those younger comics out there going like, I'm going to do a joke about transgenders because like, this will fucking get people to watch my clip. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if someone has a clever like Chappelle, when he's doing his transgender joke, it's like, these are genuine, like, questions he has about it that he's confused about. And then he goes, well, this is what's funny about that thought I have about that subject. And then that's why it's real and authentic, and you can do it because he's like, I'm just asking questions, but I found a clever way to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what makes you a great comedian, as opposed to just like saying some shit just to say.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is you have to be able to appeal to both sides of the aisle. I love Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro, but they're talk show hosts. They're not comedians.
Those are actors. Those are actors.
Well,
But let me finish my thoughts. You're steamrolling everybody right now, Austin. The best example of how a comedian should be is Abraham Lincoln. You bring together the North and the South.
Yeah.
You can unite people. Everybody appreciates it. Everybody sees the nonsense, whether they're on the left and right, of the point that you're making. That's the best. Sam Tripoli can go up, or I don't want to use Sam. I like Sam, but I didn't even see that act. You can go up there and be this edgy right-wing dude who kills to 25% of the crowd, but 75% of the people walk out, and you can make a living doing that, and that's great. But I do see it as a higher form of comedy artistically if you can make 95% of the room laugh and then just 5 pussies leave. That's great.
Yeah, because you're doing your job as a comedian is to like be funny.
What's up, King?
I just want to say, I think the patriot in all of us can appreciate a free speech absolutist, and that's, I can tip my hat to that. Like, you know, you have the right to say whatever the fuck you want at the end of the day.
Sure,
But
go speak wherever you
get the
want.
perspectives. Yeah.
But that's not stand up.
Yeah.
I just feel like
It's a lot
telling
more
other
complicated.
comedians or other people, like, I know you were joking, so I'm not calling you out at this point. But I don't know. I just hate this whole idea of, oh, you got to watch what you say, or you're going to ruin your whole career or whatever. I feel like that is, it adds on to the issue, and it's only going to make the cancel culture thing worse until we get to a point like Elon where he says anything goes as long as it's not illegal. Like, free speech absolutists, essentially. I mean, obviously, don't just call people the N-word, but don't. I don't like this idea of other comedians policing each other. You know what I'm saying? You can have the audience maybe.
Yeah,
police
nobody's a
people
fan
too.
of nobody's a fan of other comedians policing themselves.
I agree with what
But
you're
nobody's
saying.
gonna
generally.
co-sign someone if they're just blatantly saying hate speech without a joke.
Yeah, finesse.
You know what I mean? That's
matters.
Gotta be
different.
funny, yeah.
You're trying to say.
It's different. It's not like, listen, again, and also someone could go walk down the street and say whatever they want. What the fuck do I care? But if you're talking about in the context of stand up, like, then like, well, part of being, the whole argument was part of being a conscious good comic is also going, well, unfortunately in today's society that won't work. So my job is to make a joke work.
Yeah, and
So
I get
that's
that,
what I'm
because that's
saying.
your job.
You know what I'm
as a
saying? So
comedian.
like,
To make people
sure,
laugh.
you're not policing what a comedian's saying. You're just saying like, well, unfortunately, that is the world we live in, right? It's we can't change it. You can't go backwards. You can't say those words because they're just not accepted, and that's how people feel in society. It doesn't mean you have to feel that way, but like being a good comic, being, well, how can I get that point across using a different type of word that means the same thing?
How often in comedy do you see like somebody does a set that's like too edgy, and like the host of the place or maybe other comedians come up and tell that person like, you know, I think that was too far or whatever. Like, how often does that happen, or if not really at all?
Not really at all.
Never.
Not really at all.
I haven't seen it, and there's been some edgy shit on.
No,
on
the
stage
only thing
recently.
I'll say something to a comic. I'll be like if he's doing something and it's not working, I'll be like, you're making it harder for yourself. Stand-up's already very hard,
Right.
and like like if you're like a white straight male, why are you trying to make it even harder by doing stuff like that? Like, wait till you've earned the right to.
Has your
But
company
what's the whole
since you
point of
started?
earning
Yeah.
a right to?
Yeah.
Why do you have to earn a right to do anything?
Because you have to be a good comic. Like if everybody's on board and like, yo, this comic's dope, I love his point of view, I want to hear him talk about everything. He's earned the right because everybody's like put the stamp on, like, I want to hear, like, Chappelle's earned the right to talk about whatever he wants. You can't take that away because he's proven the fact that he's been one of the greats. If you're a fucking open micer trying to do some fucking edgy shit, it's like, motherfucker, I don't even know if you know how to do stand up.
Yeah.
So why are you trying to do some shit
Well,
that
yeah,
like
I
you're not
agree.
even
If the joke's not funny and the guy's not funny, then it doesn't work.
I mean, you should agree. I'm right about, like, this is how the comedy world is. Like, you there is a thing of earning the right to do those type of bits because people buy tickets to see you. They're like, dude, I'm buying a ticket to see this guy because I love his point of view.
Yeah.
If people love your point of view, then you could get away with any joke because they're buying into like this guy's point of view.
Yeah, a good example of that is modern artists who paint blocks of cheese, or they paint a fucking they just throw paint at a canvas. The reason people buy that abstract modern art is because that guy can draw a fucking naked dude better than anybody. You got to master the basics. You got to be able to draw a landscape. You got to be able to do shadowing properly. And then you can experiment. What Lenochi's saying is you got to be able to walk into a comedy club, know what makes people laugh, and then you can get into your more experimental, self-indulgent material.
Because they know you, and then they're like buying to see your personality.
But what if they're like, just like, say they're brand new and nobody knows them, but their material is still super funny? Have they not earned the right to be edgy, or do you have to have like a certain level of clout? That was my question.
But if it's working, then sure. But like the whole thing is like doing those clever, edgy things is like those work better with comedians who are well known because people know their personality.
And then they bring their own audience.
Like if Bill Burr walks in a room, he doesn't even have to say a joke. You're laughing because he's like, I was fucking driving the other day. You're like, all right, because like you know his point of view already. He's got it going already.
A cocksucker in a New York Yankees hat cuts me off.
You know what I mean? Like you're laughing, like
and I got my kid in the car, so I'm like, it's okay, honey. We're trying to stay calm. I've been going to therapy, but I just want to cut the cocksucker. You know Bill Burr, what he's
like,
gonna do.
Like any fucking Sebastian, he could be like, I went to Starbucks. You're laughing already.
They got the sugar and the milk over there.
He's not even saying a joke. You're just laughing because you like, oh, I know where how he thinks already. So like you can go up and try doing transgender jokes or jokes about words and stuff, but like people will be like, who the fuck are you? That they might, unless it's really fucking clever and you're prolific at writing jokes right away.
Another thing too is we know that Bill Burr is a good guy, so we're willing to go with them into controversial material. Whereas a guy who gets up on an open mic stage and starts talking about transgender, we're like, does this guy have a shotgun tucked into his pants here?
Yeah,
they could be just a genuine crazy person.
We should move on. I feel like we're treading water. Austin, yeah, I get what you're saying. I obviously don't like it either. I hate censorship, and I hate having things taken down and people canceling. I fucking hate it. But what Lenochi's saying is that especially in stand-up, you have to make a room laugh. You have to make a room laugh. That's your job. Internet, it's a little bit differently because if people don't like us, they can fuck off, and we attract our true fans on here. So we can be more edgy. He's talking about stand-up, where your job is to make a room full of strangers. Maybe you're in Las Vegas and they never even heard of you and you're just an act that's playing that night. You have to be versatile and you have to have the temperature of the room dialed in. That's what he's talking about. But let's move on. I feel like we've all made our points.
Let me just end with this. It's also like, but it's not only stand-up when they're talking about like not saying these words and stuff and like, oh, you should be careful. It's like the risk, what's the risk versus reward? You know what I mean? Like to like say, oh, I want to be able to say the N-word or fag, or I want to say all these words and stuff like that. But like I shouldn't have to be worried if that's clipped on YouTube and like, but in 10 years, the headache might not be worth it for like, what's the big laugh out of it? You know what I mean? Like if it's going to be fucking killer and everyone's like, dude, that was the funniest thing ever. Sure. But if it's for like, to be like, I want my freedom. Like, yeah. Okay. You know what I mean? Like go to start. Like,
you're about to start a business. You're about to start a business. I mean, wouldn't you be a little pissed off if you lost a couple clients because Dino was in a mudflap video and decided to drop an N-bomb?
A great comic always said that to me. Risk versus reward. That's like it's the best thing to hear. Like, okay, is this going to get the big fucking laugh?
Yeah. And before we move on, I just want to apologize to you, Lidochi, and to you guys for kind of derailing the show.
That's right. That's right. Apologize to Nico over here, too.
I think that was good content. It'll be fun. I thought that was good content.
It is good content. It'll be fun.
That was interesting for
I
people
just
who
don't
don't
want
know
it
about
to feel
that.
like I got any kind of beef with you. I really don't.
I didn't think
I just was like wired up.
Nico has beef with you.
No, I love us.
Nico,
me and Nico are going to fight.
What would you do to that jacket? Yeah, what would you do to that jacket he's got right there?
I'd throw it around his neck.
You throw it around his neck? What are you thinking, Bravo?
Yeah.
Bravo, Chuck?